Good morning, sir.
ASAP methodology. ASAP stands for Accelerated SAP. Accelerated SAP. What is acceleration? What is meant by acceleration? To speed up. Okay. If you want to, increase the car speed, you need to press accelerator, right? Similarly, here, in order to speed up the implementation process in using SAP, then we have to use this ASAP methodology. This ASAP methodology is designed and developed by SAP. ASAP methodology is an implementation solution, can be used to map customer business requirements into SAP system. It is cost effective and less number of resources are required for implementation. ASAP methodology consists of different phases, like first phase is project preparation. Project preparation, business blueprint document preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, go live and support, go live and support. These are the 5 phases of ASAP methodology. ASAP methodology is designed on waterfall model. Waterfall model. What is the waterfall model? How waterfalls? How does waterfall? From top to bottom, right? Similarly here, ASAP methodology activities will be carried out from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. Okay. Once this project preparation is completed, then only business blueprint has to start. Then once we complete these 3 phases, then only final preparation has to start. This is called as waterfall model. It is also called as top to down approach. Top to down approach. The activities will be carried out from the top phase to bottom phase. Now let us discuss each and every phase in detail. First one is the project preparation. And this ASAP methodology is used for implementation, SAP implementation. If we have to implement, customer requirements into SAP system, then SAP consultant need to follow this ASAP methodology. Then what are the benefits of this ASAP methodology? It is cost effective, less number of resources are required, and less time is required for implementation. Then in project preparation phase, SAP consultants need to understand the customer business. Understanding the customer business, understanding the customer business by interacting with end users, understanding customer business by interacting end users, and project charter and project plan will be prepared by project management team. Project plan and project charter will be prepared by the project management team in this phase. Okay. In this phase, the project management team will be involved actively. Okay. Who are involved in project management team? Project management team, nothing but your project manager, project lead, delivery lead. All these people are called as project management team. Project manager has to prepare a project plan for this entire implementation project. What a project plan contains? Project plan contains all these phases, and for each and every phase, they will mention what is the starting date and ending date, like this. Project preparation starts from this date to this date. Then, before ending the project preparation, then business blueprint will get started. Then, before ending business blueprint, realization starts. Then, final preparation starts. Last one is go live and support going to start, like this. These are nothing but the duration, like March month to April month, 2 months. Then March 15th, business blueprint is going to start. And in April, something like that. Okay, for each and every phase, there will be a starting duration, starting time, and ending time. This is called as project plan. This will be prepared by the project manager, not us. Okay, not SAP consultant. Okay, project plan and project charter will be prepared in this project preparation phase, and the project manager, there will be a kickoff meeting. Apart from this kickoff meeting nothing but project initiation meeting. In this meeting, the top management, the steering committee, okay, they will appoint a project manager, and the project manager will appoint a SAP consultant during project preparation phase. Okay. And SAP consultants need to understand the customer business processes, and they have to prepare business procedure documents. Generally, these business procedure documents are available with the customer. If those are not available with the customer, then SAP consultant need to prepare business process procedure document. Then once the project preparation is over, then business blueprint starts. Business blueprint phase is going to start. Once this phase is over, then only business blueprint has to start. In the business blueprint phase, the senior consultant has to prepare business blueprint document which contains as is and to be section. This business blueprint document is a Word document which contains mainly two sections. One is as is and other one is to be. Under as is section, we have to mention all the manual business requirements. What are the current business requirements our client or customer is using right now? Those business requirements we have to capture under as is. Under to be section, we have to mention how we are going to map these manual or current business requirements into SAP system. We have to clearly mention the step-by-step instructions on how we are going to map current requirements into SAP system. Okay. Mainly business blueprint document contains how to map customer requirements into SAP system. What are the requirements customer is going to have in the SAP system? Those requirements we are going to mention. We have to mention in the business blueprint document. This will be prepared by the senior consultant. Senior consultant in the sense around 10 years or more than 10 years of experience. Consultant is called as senior consultant. And this business blueprint document can be prepared separately for single module, like the business blueprint document, like this. Or same business blueprint, single business blueprint document for all the modules. It depends on the number of business processes. If the client is having less number of business processes, or if our customer is having less number of business processes, if our customer is having less business requirements, then we can prepare a separate business blueprint document for each module. If they have less business requirements, we can prepare a single business blueprint document for all the modules. If our customer is having more number of business processes, then for each and every module, we have to prepare a separate business blueprint document. There is no standard, there is no hard and fast rule. It depends on the client and the company, decision whether they want to have a single business blueprint or individual business blueprint document for each module. Then once you prepare this business blueprint document, you need to give it to your customer. Okay, your customer has to sign off this business blueprint document. Okay, they have to go through all these as is requirement, and they need to go through to be requirement, and they have to approve this business blueprint document, saying that all these requirements are valid, all the requirements are correct. If there are any issues, then they will give those comments to the SAP consultants, and SAP consultants need to fix those issues or the feedback. Okay. And in the real-time project, this document will go for 20 to 30 reviews. Because if there is any issue in the business blueprint document, accordingly we'll implement in SAP system, and at the end of the day, our SAP system will go wrong. This is the heart of the SAP implementation. As per business blueprint document, we have to do configuration. If business blueprint is wrong, then our configuration will go wrong. And as a result of that, our SAP product will go wrong. That is the reason we have to make sure that business blueprint is correct and it is approved by our customer. Without their approval, we cannot start a configuration. Okay. And in this phase, what is the output? Business blueprint document is the output in business blueprint phase. And in the interview, you people have to tell like this. If you are putting 3 to 5 years of experience in the resume, then you have to tell, I am involved in end-to-end implementation, right from the, what is end-to-end implementation? Right from the project preparation to go live and support. You are involved in end-to-end implementation, but your actual role starts from the realization phase. If you tell like this, then your life will be smooth. Don't tell that my role starts from project preparation. Then it will be very difficult for you to answer the question. Because only senior consultant will be involved in the project preparation, not senior consultants who are having the 3 to 5 years of experience. Consultants are junior consultants. They never involved in project preparation or business blueprint. We are not going to have all the consultants from the first phase itself. No. As and when required, we have to load consultants into the project. That is called as a resource loading. Resource loading is happen as and when we require. Since we need more number of SAP consultants during realization phase, then all junior consultants will be involved in realization for configuration. What we have to do in realization? We have to do configuration. Whatever configuration we have done so far, that configuration will be carried out in the realization phase. Okay, you have to tell like that in the interview. They will ask you, Have you involved in end-to-end implementation? You have to tell, yes, I involved in end-to-end implementation in implementation project, but my actual role, my work starts from realization phase. Then in the realization phase, they will ask you what configuration you have done. Then you can tell whatever configuration we have done so far, like a purchase order configuration, release strategies configuration, pricing procedure configuration, MMF FI integration configuration. Okay. This phase is very important for you guys. Realization is very, very important phase. Realization phase. Who are involved in realization phase? Like the senior consultant, junior consultant, business analyst, and on-site coordinator. There are three types of projects you might be knowing. One is on-site, second one is offshore, and third one is on-site offshore. On-site offshore. These are the three types of SAP projects. In case of on-site project, all the consultants need to go to on-site customer location and work from there. Don't think that on-site is going to some other country. No, on-site is the place where customer locate. See, we are, for example, our office is in Whitefield and our customer is in Electronic City in Bangalore. And for us, on-site is Electronic City. Because our customer location is Electronic City, right? That is called as on-site. On-site is nothing but customer location, wherever it is. And if we go and work at a customer location, then that project is called as on-site. And for example, if our customer is in Germany, if we are in Bangalore, then all our consultants go to Germany and work from there. But this project is, this on-site model is very costly model because this customer has to bear the transportation charges and accommodation charges and other expenses of the SAP consultant. That is the reason most of the customers, they don't prefer this on-site model. The next one is offshore model. In this case, no one need to go to on-site. All the consultants need to work at offshore in our office. It is Bangalore. It is Whitefield. No need to go to Germany. From here itself, you can work from offshore. But if it is an offshore model, our customer may not know what is happening at TCS Bangalore. Because our client is in Germany, right? It is very difficult for them to track what is happening at TCS Bangalore. That is the reason they don't prefer even offshore model also, even though it is very cheap. This model is cheap model, not costly, because no need to bear any accommodation charges, flight tickets, nothing, right? But they don't know. It is very difficult to track the project status. Even though there are meetings and other activities. Then third model is on-site and offshore model. Most of the clients prefer this on-site offshore model. In this model, few consultants will go to on-site and other consultants at offshore and work. For example, if the project team has 20 members team, out of 20, this 20 includes all the modules, MMSD. If it is a small project, 20. If it is a big project, then there can be 500 consultants. If it is a big project for implementation. All the consultants, including MM, SD, FI, QM, for all the modules. Then out of 20 consultants, 3 consultants will go to on-site, Germany, and remaining 17 consultants work from the offshore. Then customer can interact with these 3 consultants and they will come to know what is happening at the offshore and on-site. Okay, this model is preferable model for the customer. Right. And during realization, we have to go for configuration, and the configuration will take place in 2 phases in realization. That is, first phase is basic configuration. First of all, we have to complete the basic configuration. As a part of basic configuration, we need to do configuration of master data setup, configuration of enterprise structure, configuration of enterprise structure. This enterprise structure is first. We have to configure enterprise structure, then master data. Enterprise structure configuration, followed by master data configuration, then major business requirements. Major business requirements will be configured. Then once the basic configuration is over, then we have to start a final configuration. As a part of final configuration, we need to focus on integration touch point, MMFI, MMSD, MMEWM, MMPM, MMQM. MM module is integrates with almost all the modules. Those integrations need to be considered in final configuration phase. Okay. And apart from this basic and final configuration, SAP consultant need to perform certain types of testing. Like we have to do unit testing, scenario testing, integration testing, and the user acceptance testing, UAT. These are the different types of testing need to be done by the consultant, user acceptance testing. These are all interview questions, whatever we are discussing as a part of implementation, they will ask these types of questions. First one, write down unit testing. Unit testing. Testing of unit piece of functionality. Testing of unit piece of functionality or a single transaction code is known as unit testing. Testing of unit piece of functionality or a single transaction code is known as unit testing. For example, if you create a new material type like ZZ RH, or if you create a new screen sequence for new screens, okay, then we have to do testing, right, using MM01. We have to do single T code testing. We have to do testing using MM01, create a material master T code to make sure that this new material type is working as per the requirement. That is called as unit testing. Testing of single T code after configuration. We have to do all these types of testing after completing the configuration. Next testing is scenario testing. Scenario testing. Testing of series of SAP transactions. Testing of series of SAP transactions within a single module. Within a single module is known as scenario testing. Testing of series of SAP transactions, like for example, material creation, then vendor creation, then info recorder, then purchase order, goods receipt, and invoice. These are nothing but series of SAP transactions. Multiple SAP transactions within a single module. Testing of multiple SAP T codes within a single module is known as scenario testing. Because this is one scenario, right from the material master creation to invoice. Okay. Next, integration testing. Integration testing. Testing of series of SAP transactions. Testing of series of SAP transactions across the modules. Across the modules is known as integration testing. Across the modules in the sense MM and FI integration. This comes under integration testing. We have to check whether data is flowing from MM module to FI module correctly. Okay. Testing of series of SAP transactions across the modules is known as integration testing. Next one, user acceptance testing, or it is also called as UAT. UAT. Generally, this UAT, user acceptance testing, is performed by the end user. But sometimes on behalf of end users, we can also do user acceptance testing. And there are three environment systems in the SAP. First one, development environment. Second one is quality environment. And the third one is production. These are called as three different systems. In the development environment, we have to do configuration. ABAP need to write the code for customization in the development environment. And once we are done with configuration in development environment, then we need to request to the basis team to move those changes from development environment to quality environment. For example, we have created a new document type. New document type for purchase order. New purchase order document type for purchase order in the development environment. ZZP. This is the name of document type. Okay. Then once we are done configuration, then these changes ZZP document type need to be moved to the quality environment or quality system. This will be done by the basis team. Then once ZZP is new document type is available in the quality system, then we have to do testing in the quality system to make sure that this document type is working fine. This quality system is meant for user acceptance testing by the end user. End users has to perform testing only in the quality system, not in the development system. In the development system, we have to develop the objects, but in the quality system, testing is going to completed. End users have to perform the testing. And UAT will be performed in the quality system. UAT is user acceptance testing. Before moving this object into the production, end users has to do testing in the quality testing, quality system to make sure that this object, this new document type ZZP is working as per the customer requirement. That is called as UAT. After performing UAT testing, if our customer says that yes, this is working fine, Once we get approval from the customer, then only we have to move that new document type from quality system to the production system. Production system is a live environment where our customer is going to use for their day-to-day activity. In the live environment, they can create a purchase order for their vendor using this new document type. Okay, that is nothing but the production environment. It's a live environment. User acceptance testing, nothing but before taking that application, users has to feel the application, whether it is working correct or not. See, it is just like as simple as like this. If you want to buy tomatoes, then you will see the tomatoes, right? Whether those tomatoes are red color or good or not. If it is good, then you will accept it. Otherwise, you will just reject it. That is called as UAT, user acceptance testing. Similarly, the customer feel the application. They will see the application. They feel the application by testing it. If it is fine, then they will accept it for production. If it is not good, then they just reject it and enter it. Then again, developers or SAP consultant need to modify as per the issue. That is called as user acceptance testing. In the realization phase, we have to do these two types of configuration and we have to complete these types of testing. Then once realization is over, then final preparation is going to start. In the final preparation, we have to do system testing. We have to take care of cutover activities. Cutover activities is nothing but we have to maintain number ranges in each and every system. Cutover activities, and also open critical issues can also be resolved as a part of final preparation. In the final preparation, system testing need to be performed. System testing is nothing but is the testing of the application to check the performance of the application after integrating with all the systems. Okay. System testing is just like this. For example, there are these many what are all these? These are all different applications of the systems in our project. There is a SAP MM module, then FI module, then there is a PP module, and there is some other third-party application, not SAP application. Our customer is using vendor portal. Okay, they are using a separate vendor portal web application. And here there is one dealer portal. I'm giving an example. Dealer portal. This is also some other application. And some other application ABC. These three are not a SAP application, but these applications are integrated with SAP system through interfaces. Then as a part of system testing, we need to test all these applications to make sure that all these applications are working together as a single system. Okay, like this. The data has to flow from the vendor portal to MM to dealer portal, next dealer portal to MM, dealer portal to PP, ABC application to PP, PP to FI. Like that, the data should flow across all these systems correctly, and all these systems should work together as a single system. And once all these systems connected together, the performance of the application, SAP application, should not degrade. Okay, that is called as system testing. In the system testing, you basis consultants, other third-party, consultants, PI consultants, the interface consultants, ABAPers. Okay, those people are involved. Not only SAP consultants, even other consultants are also involved in system testing to make sure that all these systems together working as a single application or single system. Then in the cutover activities, we have to make sure that we have to maintain number ranges for purchase order number ranges, material master, vendor master in each and every system. Okay. The next, open critical issues. See, we have completed so many phases, right? Like project preparation, business blueprint, realization. But still, if there are any open issues, then those open issues can be resolved in final preparation, because this is the last and final chance for us to fix the issues. After this phase, our application SAP goes to go live and support. Okay, but in the go live and support, there should not be any issues. Okay, we should resolve all the issues in each and every phase, and also we have to resolve issues in the final preparation. This is the last and final chance the consultant will have. Once the final preparation is over, then SAP product will go to go live, and our customers are going to use our developed SAP product for their day-to-day activities. And if they find a lot of issues, then they don't use our product, right? That is the reason we have to filter all the issues in these phases before go live. And final preparation is the last chance for SAP consultant to resolve open critical issues. Then once final preparation is over, then last phase is go live and support. Go live and support. What is go live? Go live is a real-time environment where end users uses SAP application for their day-to-day activities. Like they will create a purchase order to their vendor, real-time vendor, and they receive material from the vendor. After receiving material from the vendor, they enter that received quantity in the SAP system. They create invoice documents in the SAP system. Okay, it's a real-time environment. From the day onwards, then our customer is going to use SAP system for their day-to-day activities. Then once the go live is over, then we have to provide support to end users. Support in the sense, we have to give proper training to the end users, because they are new to SAP system, right? Before implementation, they didn't know what is SAP. After implementation, we have to give rigorous training to the end users, like how to create a purchase order, how to create material, how to create vendor. Everything we have to teach to end users so that they can use our system. If they don't know how to, use SAP system, it's of no use. Correct? You should know how to drive a car. Otherwise, what is the use of car? First of all, you have to learn how to drive a car. Then only you can able to, drive a car, drive your car for your, purpose. Similarly, we have to provide a training to the our customer end users. That is also part of SAP consultant responsibility. Okay. And whenever end user uses SAP system, if they face any issues, then we have to resolve those issues. Okay. Then after go live and support, then this project will go under production support project, maintenance project. Implementation is over. Once implementation is over, then project goes to maintenance or support project. As long as our customer uses SAP, then there should be solid support team who can support those end users. Okay, in support project also, there will be SAP consultant who has to resolve end user issues, so that there will not be any impact on our customer business. Okay. After implementation, for example, if our customer is not able to create a purchase order due to some issue, okay, what is the issue? They have entered a incorrect plant. Instead of 1,000 plant, they have entered a 5,000 plant, due to which they are unable to create a purchase order because they don't know. They are not, technical people, right? They are just end users. They don't know how to create a purchase order. In this case, if they are unable to create a purchase order will not go to the vendor, and they don't get raw materials like tiles, sheet metal engine. And if there are no raw materials, no production. If there is no production, no sales. If there is no sales, then no business. Right? They have to close their business. There will be a lot of impact on their business if the customer is unable to create a purchase order. In this situation, there will be or there should be a production support team. Okay, support team. This support team has to resolve this issue then and there itself immediately. Whenever this customer or end users are unable to create a purchase order, immediately they have to take a screenshot and they have to mention all the details, and those details they have to send it to support team. And support team need to resolve that issue within 2 hours or 3 hours based on the service level agreements. There will be agreements between the company, Honda company or the customer, and the production support team or production support company and this customer. Then based on the service level agreement, for example, if it is a critical issue, then support team has to resolve within 4 hours. If it is a not a critical issue, if it is a high severity issue, then they can resolve within 8 hours. And if it is a medium issue, they can resolve within 24 hours. And if it is a low critical issue, then they can resolve within 5 days, something like this. These are called as service level agreements. Based on these agreements, then this production support team need to resolve the issues encountered by the end user. This support project will be there as long as our customer uses SAP system. It can be 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 50 continuously. As long as they use SAP, there should be a solid support team. And this support team consists of different modules, consultants like consultant, SJ consultant, FI consultant. If there is FI issue, then FI consultant need to resolve. If there is any issue, consultant need to resolve the issue. And how these end users are going to interact with the support team? With the ticketing tool. There are different ticketing tools or ticketing applications. Ticket nothing but the issues or incidents or the defects. Okay. There are different ticketing tools are available in the market like Remedy tool or Quality Center, Bugzilla. These are the ticketing tools. ServiceNow. This ticketing tool or application is accessed by the support team and the end users. And end users are going to raise all those issues or defects in the ticketing tool. The same ticketing tool can be used by support team to view the tickets and further resolution. Instead of just exchanging the emails from the end user to production support team, then they can also use this tool so that these end users can log defects in the ticketing tool, and the support team can go through those defects in the ticketing tool on daily basis, and they will resolve and they will update status in the ticketing tool. This is called as implementation project. and support a project. This is the implementation process. If you put the implementation project in your resume, then they will ask questions like this. First question is, what is ASAP methodology? What are the phases in ASAP methodology? What is your role in ASAP methodology? What are the types of testing you have done in ASAP methodology? What types of configuration you have done? What types of testing you have done? What is unit testing, scenario testing? Like that, they will ask questions relevant to implementation process. Any questions here?
No, sir.
Tomorrow, let us discuss the other topic, that is IDOC, intermediate documents. Can be used to send a purchase order to the vendor through SAP system. Okay, IDOC stands for intermediate document. Okay, we'll discuss tomorrow this IDOC. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, guys, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll meet tomorrow.